Okay, welcome everyone. First things first, I'm going to turn that off. Introduce you to the WG Murdoch Grade 6 class. They're here doing a mock council meeting. We have their newly elected counselors and CAO up with us, and they're going to be giving some presentations, so it should be fun. All right, I will call to order the regular council meeting Tuesday, February 3rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. Item 2.1, agenda for February 3rd, 2026. Are there any edits?
If there's no edits, can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Councillor Knight,
I move that the February 3rd, 2026 agenda be accepted as presented.
Anyone opposed?
motion carried. Item 3.1, January 20th, 2026, regular council meeting. Minutes, are there any edits?
If there's no edits, can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Councillor Brennan,
move that the minutes of the January 20th, 2026 regular council meeting be accepted as presented.
Motion carried.
sorry, anybody opposed?
Anybody
He was
opposed?
right, I was not.
Motion carried.
Okay, now we have a definition. Okay, so item 4.1.
Item 4.1, WG Murdoch's Grade 6 presentation.
4.11,
4.11,
community pump track.
community pump track.
And then it'll say, this is who.
It's actually the splash.
Well, nobody told the mayors. So item 4.12, community splash park upgrade. Okay. And who's presenting? Jesse. And then you see welcome and you see their names.
Welcome, Councilor.
No, just say their names.
Welcome, Jesse and Kobe.
Start anytime.
You can start anytime.
Our community splash park upgrade. The proposal is to improve and upgrade Crossfield Splash Park. By Jesse, Amelia, Kobe, Landon, Ryland, Avery, Quinn, and Mackenzie. Why this upgrade matters. The Crossfield Splash Park is an important part of our town, especially during the hot summer months. Kids of all ages enjoy going there to play, cool off, and spend time with friends and family. However, we believe the splash park could be even better. Our proposal is to improve the splash park by making it more fun, more comfortable, and more welcoming for everyone. This includes adding new features for kids to enjoy and adding more shaded seating areas so parents and caregivers can relax while watching. By making these improvements, we believe that the Crossfield Splash Park will continue to be a place that brings families together and makes Crossfield an even better place to live. Our general proposal. For our new and improved splash park, we would propose creating 2 themed areas, one side with a beach theme and the other with an under the sea theme. This would make the park more exciting and fun for kids to explore. We would also add soft, safe padding on the ground so children do not hurt their feet while running and playing. In addition, we would include more seating, such as picnic tables with umbrellas for shade, so families can rest, stay longer, and even eat lunch at the park.
Finally, we would add a couple of water slides to make the splash park even more fun and enjoyable for everyone.
The design proposal. Our splash park would be designed for kids of all ages and would include many fun, interactive water features. We wanted to include a mix of exciting big features and smaller play features so there's always something fun to do. Our splash park would include an orca that sprays water, an elephant that shoots water from its trunk, jellyfish that sprays water from above, a dump bucket that fills up and tips water over people, ground sprays that shoot up water from the ground, a rainbow walk through water feature, and, last but not least, water blasters that could be stored in a toy bin for kids to use.
Our budget overview. We would like you to take a couple of minutes to look over our budget.
I think we can keep going. Council saw the package and we've read it, so.
Our total estimated budget range, minimum estimate $29,428, maximum estimate $91,285.
The funding plan and community fundraising. We understand that the town of Crossfield does not have unlimited funding and that taxpayers already contribute a lot to our community. So we do not want to place an unfair burden on the town or the residents. Ideally, we hope that this project could be prioritized in the 2027 or 2028 town budget, but we also want to show that our community is willing to help support this important project. Because of this, we brainstormed several fundraising ideas that could help raise money and build community excitement around the splash park. We have food fundraisers and item and event fundraisers that might help raise the money to help build our new and improved splash park.
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation and consider our ideas for improving Crossfield Splash Park. We hope you can see how much this project would mean to kids and families in our community.
Below is a student-created concept sketch showing some of the ideas and features we imagined for an upgraded splash park. While this is not a final design, it represents our creativity, excitement, and vision for what this space could become. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Are there any questions from council?
Through the chair, if you were to open up some fundraisers such as trivia night or a relay, where would it take place?
Through the chair, we were thinking that a 12-hour relay would take place in the soccer field near Murdoch. And the trivia could take place in the community hall. So there would be trivias for adults and trivias for kids of all ages.
Any other questions?
Through the chair, are there any features that would require lifeguard staffing?
Through the chair, there would be an employee that would just make sure kids are safe, but we would also hope that there would be a parent there or some kind of guardian there to help them if they get hurt.
Counselor Rory?
Through the chair? What would you do? Oh, wait, no. If the fundraisers are not enough, how do you plan to get the money to make the splash park?
Through the chair, like we said in our earlier slides, we would also use the money from the 2027 or 2028 town budget, but the fundraisers would help cover hopefully some of the upgrade. We also would like to show you a poster one of a counselor Amelia drew to hopefully represent our splash park.
Great. If you want to pass it to Council Brennan there over there, and then we'll pass it around the table so we can see a nice close-up of it. Okay, any other questions?
Any other questions? Counselor Amelia?
Through the chair, would you keep all of the stuff or some of the stuff or equipment that is there already or tear it down? We would, through the chair, we would be probably keeping some of the things from the old splash park, but I think a lot of it we would tear up and replace.
Also, through the chair, adding on to what Jesse said, we would probably, if there would be 2 themed areas, we would want to make the splash park bigger. So we would add more concrete there to make the splash park a little bit bigger.
Deputy Mayor, you have a question?
I do, through the chair. That's a fantastic presentation. I have 2 questions actually, and they both have to deal with the money part of it. Going back to your budget overview, does does that include your operating budget for the splash park at all?
Through the chair,
Through the chair, I have a question to answer that. What does an operating budget mean?
So I do realize that it is an upgrade to our existing water park. Is there any, if things break down with your new, upgraded benches or picnic tables or anything, is there any money in there to fix it or, to keep it up? Like if you have to paint things or, that's kind of what you're operating your budget.
Okay, I'm gonna help you out just a little bit. So an operating budget pays for the people that you need to run it.
Okay.
It pays for electricity, it pays for water,
Okay.
it pays for any fixes like council or deputy mayor had said, so that type of thing.
Okay. Through the chair, well, we would, since the 2027 or 2028 town budget would probably be as much as this year's budget, and we haven't reached that max, that we would hopefully have some money left over to make any extra fixes to the water park.
That's a great answer. Thank you. I think so. I absolutely do. My second question to that is, you talked about some fundraising and you had some great ideas about the fundraising with the cookie sales and the relay. Have you thought about grants? Because we use a lot of grants to fund some of our items. So provincial and federal grants. So you may not have to answer that, but that's maybe one thing to think about as well. But if you have thought about it, you can let us know.
okay. Yes. Through the chair, yes.
Yeah, they thought about it.
Excellent, excellent. I figured you did. So,
All right.
Thank
For
you.
any other questions?
Any other questions?
Through the chair. Was that you, Super Nash? Lots of it. I think you have a question over here. Counselor.
Counselor Hartley?
What age range is the park designed for? Is there an age cutoff?
Through the chair, there will be age like for the slides because we don't want anyone to break it. So like probably only like 8 and under to use it.
I know.
But then I think everything else can be like older.
Also, through the chair, it would be like our old splash park, going kids of all ages. And there could also be adults using the splash park with the young ones.
Very good. All right. Last call for questions.
Any more questions? Counselor Amelia?
Through the chair, how would you get someone to lock up or guard the rentals or toys and etc.?
Through the chair, we would have an employee that after the splash park closed and the water was no longer running, we would have an employee come and lock up the toy bins, so nobody can steal them.
Mayor's turn. Do you have a question?
Okay. Would you be planning on upgrading the mechanical system and putting it in a building or above ground?
Just like our old splash park. Oh, through the chair. Through our old splash park, we would probably have them above like the old splash park.
All right. Another question?
Then
Do you have more?
no.
No, just one? No? Okay.
If there's no other questions, then could I have a motion?
Through the chair. I move that the community splash park upgrade presentation by the WG Murdoch grade 6 class be accepted as presented.
Is there anyone opposed? Motion carried. All right, great job, you guys. I can tell you that there are some adults that can't even present as well as you guys did. Very good job. Your whole team did a great job. Great slide presentation. You had all the right information in there. You had budget. You told us where the money was coming from. You told us what you were putting in there. You were able to answer the question like pros. Good job.
Yep.
Future either council or employees for this town of Crossfield. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, now item 4.1,
Item
right? Are we good? 4.1?
Item 4.1, community pump track.
Yes. Same presenters? No. Do you know who's presenting these?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you
Great.
say, you could present when ready. Introduce.
Welcome, Counselor Amelia and Kelsey. You can present whenever.
Okay. Good job.
Pump Up Crossfield Community Pump Track by Kelsey, George, Kylie, Jace, Nora, Decker S, Decker T, Hartley, Nixon, Kaylin, Rory, Kasten, Liam, Andre, and Amelia. Why this matters to Crossfield. Crossfield is a growing town with lots of families and kids, but there are not many outdoor places designed just for biking and active play. A pump track would give kids and teens a safe, fun place to ride instead of riding in parking lots, streets, or places that were not designed for bikes. It would also give families another free, healthy thing to do together and would make Crossfield an even better place to live. Design concept. Below, we have included some photos of possible design ideas that were chosen because they make riding more fun and exciting. Features like rollers let riders build speed without pedaling, which makes the track feel fast and smooth. Berms and curved turns make the ride flow better and feel more like a real bike track. Jumps and bigger features add excitement and give riders something to work towards as they improve.
Together, these elements would make the pump track a place where riding never feels boring and every lap's a little different. Proposed features. Because this pump track would belong to the whole community, it should be designed for riders of all ages and skill levels. It should include features that are safe and welcoming for beginners, while also offering more challenging options for experienced riders. For that reason, the design includes a mix of basic and advanced features as shown below.
Rollers,
Smooth, rounded bumps that let riders build speed without pedaling.
berms,
Bank turns that improve flow and safety.
continuous loops,
Allows riders to ride without stopping.
multiple lines,
Easier and harder routes so beginners and advanced riders can ride together.
tabletop jump,
A safe jump option for practicing skills.
gap jump,
An advanced feature for experienced riders.
flexible cost and build proposal. One idea our group wanted to put forward is to build the pump track using dirt from existing soil piles in the area, such as the one near Vista. This would help reduce the costs by using materials that are already available instead of purchasing and transporting new ones. Another benefit of building the track from dirt is that it would be easy to change or improve over time. If the community wants a different layout, the track can be reshaped or adjusted in future years without starting over or spending a lot of extra money.
Estimated project costs. The total cost of building a pump track can vary significantly depending on materials and construction. Based on our research, a professionally built pump track can typically cost around $150,000. If the town is able to use dirt from the Vista area instead of hauling new material, this could save approximately $25,000 in material costs. This means the estimated project costs would be local sourcing estimate approximately $125,000 if dirt can be sourced locally. Purchase and transport estimate approximately $150,000 to $175,000 if new dirt must be purchased and transported. While this is a significant investment, it would create a long-lasting high-use recreation space for the community.
Safety and education signage. Because many people may not know what a pump track is or how to use one safely, clear signage should be posted at the track. These signs could show what safety gear is recommended, such as helmets and pads, and explain the basic rules for riding. This would help beginners understand how to use this track properly and help keep everyone safe while using the space.
Safety and responsible use.
The pump track would be designed to be safe and accessible, but clear expectations for use would also help keep everyone safe. Younger riders should be supervised by an adult, especially when they're still learning how to use the track.
Riders should wear proper safety gear such as helmets and pads, and should only use features that match their skill level. The track's layout with easier and more challenging sections would help riders make safe choices about where to ride. We recommend the track be used by ages 10 and up.
By combining good design, appropriate supervision, and responsible use, the pump track can be a fun and safe place for the whole community.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation and consider our ideas. We believe a pump track would be a fun, healthy, and positive addition to our community.
We hope you will consider moving this idea forward because we think it would benefit kids, families, and the town as a whole.
Are there any questions?
Oh, you got a whole bunch. Let's start here.
Wait, do I say
Yeah,
that?
Counselor.
Counselor Mackenzie?
Through the chair, if you end up doing the dirt pump track, what would you do to handle a situation where there's a windy day or a storm?
Through the chair, we recommend not going on the pump track through those type of weathers because it'd be very dangerous, especially when there are kids around.
To add on to her, we also, as she said, we wouldn't recommend using it during weather changes such as wind, rain, snow, and storms. Because there could be rocks in the dirt that we don't know of, and they could possibly injure somebody.
Counselor Rory?
Through the chair, I have two questions. My first one, what benefits does the pump track offer to the community?
Through the chair, some of the benefits that the pump track offers to the community is where you can go um some of the benefits the pump track can give to our community is people starting learning how to ride bikes can go there and just learn simple jumps or moves and stuff.
Or take lessons.
You had two questions.
Through the chair, my second question, what would you do if kids from other towns come to use the pump track and less kids from our town get to use it?
Through the chair, we would hope that we make the pump track big enough so everybody can use it, even people from different towns, countries, and all over the world if they come here.
I would also say that it's a good opportunity for everyone to make some friends. And, when they come to our town and we're a welcoming town, they might want to move here. They might want to spend some money here in some of our stores and have lunch and those types of things. So it's not a bad thing.
Counselor Colby?
Through the chair, I have actually a few questions. Starting with, why did you choose the ages 10 and up for the pump track?
Through the chair, we chose the ages 10 and up because they're responsible for what they do.
10 and up we think is a responsible age where riders can come and ride with friends and not have an adult. But if ages 10 and under want to come, they must have a guardian or legal guardian with them.
Through the chair, you said that you might get dirt, like local soil, already sourced, like the ones in Vista. Where would the pump track be located?
Through the chair, we would locate the pump track in the Murdoch Park area, right beside the soccer fields.
Yeah. Any more questions? Counselor Jesse?
Through the chair, would you have safety gear for kids who don't have any?
Through the chair, in the seeable future, we will have a shed for safety gear and helmets if kids or teens don't have any. It depends on the budget set for that.
Through the chair, also, we would have, as we said in the safety and education signage, we would have a first aid kit and a phone there so they can dial for help
in case an injury happens.
Counselor Jesse?
Through the chair, in the seeable future, if you do get safety gear, where would you get the safety gear from? Through the chair, we would order them from a shop that sells safety gear, and we would put them in. Yeah, that's where we get them from.
Counselor Kobe.
Through the chair, how did you come up with the idea for a pump track, and how and why did you put in the ideas for the pump track?
Through the chair, since kids and teens don't have si-
Through the chair, since most kids and teens don't have a safe spot to ride their bikes, we would um we would oh
we recommended doing a pump track so kids and teens would have a safe place for riding instead of being in parking lots with their friends and
so they don't get injured.
Why? Through the chair, how did you come up with the ideas for the pump track?
through the chair based on the kids at our school they wanted like hold on, let's go back to the slide. They wanted these features so they don't get bored and
It's the skate park that we have here now is it's starting to get a bit boring. So they said they wanted a new one with all of these proposed features that we have on the slide. So, yeah.
They also researched it and did studies at the school to find out what would be the best thing for the pump track. Counselor Hartley.
Through the chair, how often does dirt surfacing need to be maintained?
We have an expert in the room and we use staff for that sometimes. If you'd like Super Nash to help you out, I think he'd be happy to do so.
Through the chair, yes, please.
Through the chair, the dirt pump track would probably have to be maintained on a weekly basis to ensure that ruts don't get too bad, the rocks don't get exposed. You probably have to look at topping up dirt on an annual basis too, just to ensure that things don't erode away too quickly.
One last question. Counselor Roy.
Through the chair, since there would be a lot of kids at this pump track, would you consider adding washroom facilities for the kids to use?
Through the chair, we would get like a portable washroom, like a porta potty, or a few to put in where the Murdoch, like through the chair. There would be, as we said before, there's already bathrooms at the Murdoch Park area during the summer because there's soccer. So we could either use those or purchase and haul new ones.
Yeah.
And Counselor Kobe.
And then we'll have one last question over here.
Would you need someone to man the rental station, and would you charge a fee for the rentals of helmets, elbow pads, safety gear, etc.?
Through the chair, can you please re-say that? I couldn't hear you.
Through the chair, would you need someone to man the rental station, and would you charge a fee for helmets, elbow pads, safety gear, etc.?
Through the chair, yes, we would have a person standing out front for the rentals, and yes, we would also charge about under $10 for a pair of like pads or like $12 for a helmet. But yeah.
It can vary significantly.
Okay, one last question. Counselor,
Counselor Hartley.
Through the chair. Wait, this one?
Yeah.
Through the chair. Would you be running training programs?
Through the chair, some days if if the pump track is not busy, we would run lessons, just a few, so kids could get or teens could get like hang of it.
Through the chair, we would also hope that they would have a legal guardian there to help them.
CAO Quinn, do you think that this is a feasible project to do in 2027?
Through the chair, we have it like we are having it in the 2026 budget so it will hopefully be built this year.
is it feasible?
100%.
Excellent.
Wait, can I say my question?
Yes, you can.
Is there room at the location for future expansion on the pump track if the community continues to grow the way it is right now?
It depends on how, through the chair, it depends how big we build the pump track and if there's enough space to expand it.
If there's no further questions, can I get a motion?
Through the chair,
Counselor Knight,
I move that the community pump track presentation by WG Murdoch grade 6 class be accepted as presented.
is there anyone opposed? That's motion carried. Great presentation, you guys. I want to go on the bike track without a helmet. No.
That would be very dangerous.
I'll have to set an example and wear my helmet. Good job, you guys. You had everything in there. Great presentation. I loved your little videos that you had and motions in your presentation. That was really creative. You guys both spoke very well. I can also see you guys as either future council or future staff for Crossfield. So keep up the good work. You guys are doing great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bylaws. All right. Item 5.1.
Item 5.1, rescinding of outdated bylaws. Lindsay Nash, Legislative and Administrative Services Manager.
No more curfew talk.
Sorry?
No more curfew talk.
Oh. No, this is boring stuff. Good evening, Council. This report is being brought forward as part of administration's ongoing review of town bylaws inventory. The purpose of this report has two purposes. First, to rescind several outdated bylaws that are no longer required. And second, appointing a municipal assessor by council resolution as required under the Municipal Government Act. Over time, the town has accumulated multiple bylaws that address the same authorities and appointments, and has created duplication, in some cases confusion regarding which bylaw is active or applicable. In 2025, Council updated and approved the designated officers bylaw, which consolidated all designated officer positions into one governing bylaw. Through administration's review, 5 bylaws were identified as no longer being necessary. Bylaw 1995-05, establishing the position of a designated designated officer, bylaw 2000-5, establishing the position of a designated officer, bylaw 2003-10, establishing an assessor position as a designated officer, bylaw 2011-10, establishing the position of a designated officer, and bylaw 2011-14, appointment of a municipal assessor. These bylaws either duplicate authorities already contained in the current designated officer's bylaw or were unintentionally left active after being replaced. As are all authorities and appointments contained in these bylaws are now fully addressed under the designated officer's bylaw 2025-11, and as a result, the older bylaws are no longer serve a legislative purpose and do not need to remain in force. Under section 2.84.2 of the Municipal Government Act, municipalities are required to appoint a qualified person as a designated officer to act as a municipal assessor. Once bylaw 2011-14 is rescinded, the assessor appointment must occur by council resolution rather than bylaw. Administration is recommending that council appoint Kevin Beckel, I can't pronounce his last name, Boken, of Wild Rose Assessment Services, Inc., as the town's municipal assessor and designated officer. This maintains continuity in assessment services and ensures the town remains compliant with provincial legislation. And that concludes my report, and I'm available if council has any questions.
Are there any questions, council?
Through the chair.
Deputy Mayor,
Question for you, for you, Lindsay. Is this is two separate motions or one single motion, including the assessor appointment?
I'm requesting two separate motions. So one motion to rescind the outdated bylaws and a second motion to appoint
Just one.
this municipal. Yep.
if there's no further questions, can I have a motion?
Through the chair.
Councilor Brennan,
I move that, oh no. I move that council rescind bylaws 1995-05, establish the position of designated officer, and 2000-05, 2003-10, 2011-10, 2011-14, appointment of municipal assessor, as the authorities and appointments contained within the bylaws are currently addressed in the town's existing designated officers bylaw 2020-11, and these individual bylaws are no longer required or valid.
Okay, anybody opposed?
motion carried. Can I get a second motion?
Through the chair.
Deputy Mayor.
Deputy Mayor,
I'll move that Kevin Bolkin of Wild Rose Assessment Services Incorporated be appointed as a designated officer to carry out the functions, duties, and responsibilities of the municipal assessors under the Municipal Government Act.
anybody opposed? Motion carried.
Great. So we're going to go into a recess here, but before we do that, I really want to thank, let's give Mrs. Masters a really big thank you. I think that you guys are a very lucky class to have her as a teacher and to arrange these types of activities for you. You have, you're probably, like, I've talked to a lot of grade 6 classes since I've been on council, and you guys were the most knowledgeable, the two classes that I have seen. So really good job to Mrs. Masters. Let's give her a round of applause. All right. And I also want to thank you guys. Excellent job. I think you're all brilliant. I think that you guys are going to be our future leaders. So let's give yourselves a round of applause for a great job. Okay, so we're gonna have the mayor do his last duty until he's elected officially for Crossfield once he turns 18. So
What do I
Can
say?
I get a motion
Can I get a motion
to call a short recess?
to call a short recess? Allow the grade 6 class to leave the meeting.
Through the chair,
Counselor Nielsen.
Counselor Nielsen,
I move that council call for, or have a short recess at 18:45.
Anybody opposed?
motion carried.
Good job. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Just back from our break. Item 7.1, pump track design and budget. Director of Community and Protective Services, Russ Nash, also known as Super Nash. I can't help it. That was pretty good. It's okay, Steve, you'll get a name. Don't feel left out.
All right. Thank you, Mayor Harris. Good evening, Council. Russ Nash with Community and Protective Services to present to you some preliminary designs and costs for the pump track. The intention of this presentation is to help inform Council on what can be expected, as well as seek guidance for moving forward with a budget for this project. Administration has worked with the contractor, which is Bike Track Limited, to develop 3 preliminary design concepts for our pump track. As these are all still preliminary designs, the costs are still roughly approximate until we settle on a final design and confirm more details. All 3 designs require removal of the small car piece of playground equipment that's just beside the main playground equipment in that park. If desired, it can be relocated if we wanted to. So concept 1 on the screen behind me here provides a 90-meter intermediate paved track for approximately $150,000. It incorporates some transfer options for more advanced riders, but does not accommodate beginner riders very well. So the transfer options I'm talking about are kind of right here where the track comes close. Kind of hard to see on there, but there's some lines, some arrows on there so the kids can jump over that spine there, and it provides a more advanced ride for the users. Concept number 2 provides a 43-meter beginner track in the corner here for ages 2 and up, as well as the same 90-meter intermediate track that was in concept 1 for an approximate cost of $190,000. Both tracks are paved and provide separation to allow beginner riders a space to ride without being intimidated or in the way of the older and more advanced riders. So the total lineal meters between the 2 tracks is 133. Concept number 3 provides a 146-meter paved combined beginner and intermediate track with multiple transfer options for more advanced riders, and the cost for that design is approximately $210,000. Again, it's paved as well, a little bit larger. So, oops, there we go. So just to recap, we now have a total of $218,315 available to complete this project, broken down as $100,000 allocated in the 2025 capital budget, $75,000 from the Crossfield Recreation Board, and $43,315 from Rocky County. Administration would like to maintain a 15% contingency to accommodate costs associated with unforeseen issues we may come across during construction. So that could be an example of that is if topsoil is deeper than we expected, more fill would be required. This would translate to a budget that includes $32,747 in contingency, $7,500 for the design, and $178,068 for construction. Moving forward, administration would like to proceed with a design similar to what was provided in concept number 2, as it provides a better all-round facility. Excuse me. It accommodates a wide range of ages and skill levels, which was one of the top wants from the public engagement that we did. And it minimizes disruption to park users and surrounding residents. Alternatively, council may choose to remain closer to the original $150,000 budget, which is similar to concept number 1. So we would, in that case, we would proceed with something similar to concept 1. The risks with this, however, include a smaller facility that does not accommodate younger beginner riders. And if we decided to add a beginner track in the future, We'd likely result in higher costs due to inflation and mobilization costs and additional disruption to park users and surrounding residents. So with that, that concludes my report, and I am available for to answer any questions that council may have.
Great, thanks, Director Nash. Any questions from council?
To the chair. You had indicated that there would be a small change to the playground. So could you just clarify that for me, please?
Certainly. Give me a second here. I'll just go back to one of these this drawing here. So it's hidden by this green square that's up on the screen, but it's roughly in this area here where they've got it identified as a potential seating area, viewing area. So there's a little car feature in Murdoch Park.
Okay.
It's not very well utilized. So removing it wouldn't really necessarily cause much of a change in the use of the park.
In terms of its lifespan, is it still good for a while, or does it?
It would still be in good condition to be used somewhere else if we wanted to. Yeah, it was installed at the same time that this equipment was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my second question would be maintenance on the facility and longevity. So how long would this pump track be good for, and what would be the maintenance look like?
Through the chair to Councillor Benson. Maintenance on the facility itself, on the asphalt, the paved portion, would be just ensuring that the asphalt is kept clean and clear. Other than that, there wouldn't be a whole lot. If we get some cracks in the pavement, we would obviously look to fill those cracks so that they don't expand. And then there would just be the typical mowing and that sort of maintenance around it. As far as longevity of the park, and Director Altina may be able to help me out with like pavement longevity, but I would anticipate that it would last 20 plus years quite easily.
Yeah, through the chair to Councillor Benson, you'd expect a pavement surface to last around 20 years. The town may have to undertake some rehabilitation efforts, in terms of like crack sealing and things like that through the life of the facility. You want to keep your base for your pavement dry for the most part. But yeah, you'd typically see on a facility, a paved facility, a 15 to kind of 20-year lifespan on the pavement.
Just a follow-up question. So then the utilities that are there now, if they need work, this pump track is not on that footprint, correct?
Through the chair to Councillor Benson, that is correct. We'll have it designed. If you see my my cursor here, the sewer line would be the closest, and it kind of comes right down the middle of the park here. Just along, there's a little tree right here. There's a manhole right about here, and then it starts to cut off toward the southwest there. So we'll keep away from there. I have had conversations with Director Altina as well as far as setbacks from that right away, and we want to maintain a minimum of 3 meters away from that, just in case we did have to dig it up, and it gives space so that we wouldn't have to disturb the pump track.
Okay, any other questions from council? Okay, I don't have any questions, but I really like the design of the one you guys have chosen, number 2. It's very versatile. It's for all ages. I like it. I also like that we're going with a pavement option because that does cut down on maintenance and maintenance costs. So awesome job. I can't wait to see it. We'll have to have like a little council race when we open it. Can we do that? You can join us, Kinza. As long as Councillor Gosh doesn't cheat again.
That's how we.
If you want to get your butt kicked.
You can try. All right, awesome. Can I get a motion? Sorry, go ahead.
Through the chair. I just figured I would just touch on one point there. You can see a couple lines on here. So we do have this red outline here. This is a construction access that would be planned. So we would have a slight disruption to soccer operations for this year. We'll work to try not to. This will all be fenced as well. And then this black line here is a proposed pathway to lead to the park to help with accessibility of the facility. The pathway location is not set in stone just yet. We need to figure out the best location for this. Right now, it's actually going right through our brand new park sign, so that's not going to work there. But we can move it around. We'll be toying with some ideas to make sure that we put that in a location that's going to encourage use of it instead of the kids kind of trying to cut across and that. So anyway,
That's
those are a
great.
couple items that I should also have pointed
Yeah,
out.
well, we'll leave those logistics up to you guys, and as long as the conversation's had with soccer. And in the meantime, if we can find them an alternative space to use so that they're not,
100%.
okay, great. Good. All right. Who'd like to make a motion?
Through the chair.
Counselor Brennan.
I move that council direct administration, no, that's not it, is it? Yeah. I move that council direct administration to increase the total budget for the design and construction of the pump track to $218,000 and include a 15% contingency within that budget.
Okay, anybody opposed? That's motion carried. Thank you. Item 7.2, land use bylaw terms of reference, Steve Altina, Director of Infrastructure and Growth.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. Steve Altina here to present this item, Director of Infrastructure and Community Growth. The purposes of this report is to present the terms of reference for the land use bylaw renewal project being undertaken in 2026. Terms of reference is a project planning tool that defines the purpose, vision, scope, and overall structure of a project. Terms of reference, as set out in attachment A of your package there, is intended to provide clear direction from council to administration for development of a new land use bylaw. So just kind of a quick background on land use bylaws and kind of what's contained in the terms of reference. The Alberta Municipal Government Act, the MGA, as I'll refer to it, section 641, requires that every municipality adopt a land use bylaw. The town of Crossfield's current land use bylaw was adopted in 2018 by way of bylaw number 2018-14. The new land use bylaw must align with the revised municipal development plan, MDP, adopted June 17, 2025 by way of bylaw 2025-01. So just a quick reminder about municipal development plans. So municipal development plans are long-range statutory plans that establish land use policies for the entire municipality. We just did a major update to ours, adopted again by council on June 17th of last year. The newly revised MDP establishes 5 desired outcomes. One being, community-oriented development, diverse mix of housing, infrastructure that is sustainable, maintaining a healthy financial position, and citizens that are informed and engaged. The land use bylaw itself is a rule book that prescribes how land can be used and what can be built on it. The land use bylaw assigns areas of the town into land use districts and sets out general rules for what types of buildings and activities are allowed in each district. The land use bylaw is an important regulatory tool, and it's our main implementation tool of the MDP and other statutory plans such as area structure plans and municipal policies, and it's focused on a detailed and site-specific basis. So think single parcel kind of basis. So project need, why do we need to update the land use bylaw? Primarily to address the new policy direction established in the new MDP bylaw. Typo there, it's bylaw 2025-01, not bylaw 2015-01. And also to identify and address issues identified by administration, development, industry, and citizens. So project vision for the new land use bylaw. So if you recall back to our municipal development plan for council that was here last year and for new councilors, we set up the municipal development plan structured around policy areas, flexible policy areas that focused on placemaking, the look and feel of neighborhoods, business districts and things like that, to allow for a flexible municipal development plan, flexible development to allow council to have flexibility when looking for creative and innovative proposals and the ability to proceed with what works for the town. So the project vision for the land use bylaw is to continue that and implement those policies established in NDP. So the vision here would be to allow for creative, context-sensitive development while maintaining clear expectations. Always a balancing act between providing flexibility and, of course, clear expectations and rules and guidelines. A big part of the MDP was to meet community needs by enabling people to have greater choice in housing, employment opportunities, neighborhood composition, and gathering spaces. And again, the land use bylaw helps to implement that through the districting. Promote local economic growth. How do we support businesses in town? How do we develop districts and areas and spaces for town for economic growth and for businesses to grow and develop? We want our land use bylaw to provide appropriate and proportionate regulation of land of a range of land uses that address current and future community needs. And we want to develop a document that's accessible for all user groups, including residents, applicants, and decision makers. Our current land use bylaw is fairly accessible as far as land use bylaws go. If you go look at like Calgary's, it's extremely complex. And a lot of times regular, citizens get kind of lost in the mix there in larger centers. But we want to keep that in mind. We want to make sure we're developing a document that everyone can use. So the project scope, and this isn't everything that's in the project scope. You'll see in the terms of reference kind of set out in attachment A there that we have, roughly 12 items kind of in the scope. But kind of the key points are, it's going to be a comprehensive rewrite of land use bylaw to update regulations to align with current planning practices, legislation, and the higher order statutory plans, community expectations. So aligning with that municipal development plan. Important part of our project scope here is to incorporate feedback from residents, businesses, developers, internal town staff, council, and relevant agencies. And again, to implement that policy area framework of the MDP and develop policy to support placemaking in town. Oop, too far. The project scope, we also envision some minor amendments to the municipal development plan itself. It's now been in effect again since June of last year. Council's motion at a previous council meeting, whose date is escaping me right now, was to look at some of the entryway and downtown areas and to see what we could generate for options and strategies for helping to promote business growth and development. And so that's primarily in this, just gonna get my laser pen out here. Primarily in this gateway area here, the small triangle just west of Highway 2A and between the railway tracks. This is, designated as downtown core portion in the MDP and the old MDP. Under the land use bylaw, it's designated as a commercial area. We haven't seen a lot of growth and development in those areas. And so council had made a motion that for administration to bring back some options and strategies for how to address this area. And we very much see that this area being addressed through this project as well. It's going to be probably a small change to the MDP to adjust this area to fit a better context there. And then using the land use bylaw to implement a district there that would support growth and development of these areas. It's a quick timeline. So developing these planning policy projects can take some time. They usually take about a year to rewrite a land use bylaw or develop an ASP or to do a municipal development plan. Municipal development plans are typically a little bit longer. So our first phase would be project initiation, hiring a planning consultant. Council approved $150,000 in the 2026 budget for this. So we bring on a consultant to assist staff in this comprehensive rewrite of our land use bylaw. That's going to happen in the first quarter here, along with developing a project work plan. We typically do a background research and a gap analysis. We look around to see, what other municipalities are doing. What does our documents look like? Where are the gaps? Where are the holes? Where are the issues? Where are the inconsistencies? Where could it be more clear? And then we also look to prepare public and stakeholder engagement strategy. For this project specifically, we would propose a fairly robust communication engagement strategy. We identify all relevant interest groups within town. Obviously engage with an intermunicipal partner. Rocky View County would be circulated on this type of project, and any other external stakeholders that might be affected by the renewal of the land use bylaw. The strategy will detail how various tools, techniques will be used in meaningful ways to engage a range of participants. The engagement process, essentially at its core, is meant to raise awareness of the project, encourage participation, shape the content of the new land use bylaw through a blend of research and stakeholder input, respond constructively to the interests of various audiences. We usually end up with a lot of discussion at these kind of events about, where the town's going and what's going on in the strategy overall for the town. and ensure broad support for resulting policies. So getting support obviously from the citizenry and council's constituents. Our second phase, so out of that, sorry, going back to the first phase, but out of developing that strategy, we of course end up with a public engagement strategy kind of planned for being prepared and ready to go by Q2 2026. Our second phase would be draft the new land use bylaw and municipal development plan amendments. This would involve bringing these draft amendments of the municipal development plan and a new land use bylaw out to the public through the methods defined through the engagement strategy. And that was planned. Sorry, I'll just back up a little bit. We'll do initial public and stakeholder engagement, seeking to determine values, issues, and priorities first in Q2 2026. And then we will work and do the heavy lifting to draft the land use bylaw and the MDP amendments in Q4 2026. Then in our third phase, we'll go to more robust public engagement with those newly created documents and those amendments to those documents as per our engagement strategy, or sorry, in summary. And that's planned for Q4 2026. After we receive that feedback, we bring it for refinement and approval. Staff take all that input back, refine the document, and bring it to council for first reading. And then following that, of course, second reading, public hearing, and third reading at council, planned for Q1 2027. So that's the terms of reference in kind of a nutshell. Our recommendation today would be that council adopt the land use bylaw renewal terms of reference as set out in attachment A. And I'm available for any questions should council have them.
Great. Thanks, Director Altina. Questions for Steve? Director Altina, I just had one, and I don't know if it fits in with the land use bylaw or not, because it's not really use, but we have a lot of brownfields in Crossfield. Where do we address those? Is it within a land use bylaw, or is that entirely a different location?
Thanks, Mayor Harris. And to the chair, I think there's probably a number of different levers that we would pull for that. Obviously, through the municipal development plan and the land use bylaw can create, business. Usually brownfields are in business areas. They can create business friendly policies to make those approval processes a little bit easier, a little more flexibility in the landscape, just to make that development more just easier to get the development in the ground and things like that through that policy. I think you'll see a lot of brownfield developments. There's, incentives or investment made by municipalities into brownfield areas to work with a partner as well. So there may be things on a tax incentive side, or even like a monetary investment or policy as well. So I think there's a number of different levers. Probably, a lot of municipalities will develop a kind of a brownfield strategy that will inform kind of what those levers are and how to implement them. But certainly through, the land use bylaw and the municipal development plan is a part of that for sure.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who would like to make a motion?
Through the chair,
Councillor Kosh.
I move that council adopt the land use bylaw renewal terms of reference as set out in attachment A.
Okay, is it anybody opposed? That's motion carried. Thank you. Okay, item 8, councilor's business. First of all, I did forget one thank you. So thank you to staff for helping out the grade 6 class, doing your reports and making the experience really great for them. I know it was appreciated by them. It's definitely appreciated by me, and I'm sure the rest of council. So thanks for spending some time on that. Great ideas. And, Lindsay, you got booed, but I really enjoyed that you gave them something that they could relate to, and you knew that they didn't really want. I like it. Okay, so, I continue to have my weekly CAO meetings. I went to the Taste of Nations and had a chat with the Associate Minister of Culture. Super nice guy. I've been invited out to Crossfield, so I just have to pick an event to see which one he can make it to so that he can come out here. I don't know which one that's going to be yet, but we'll let him know and send him an invite. Attended the strategy session just with CEO Kinza, myself, and Trina on Friday just to set things up. And then again last night, I thought that went pretty good. Attended the IMC meeting with Councillor Benson and a few of the staff members with Rocky View County. We talked about several issues. We gave them some updates on some Crossfield stuff and some updates on, what Minister Dreeshen had relayed back to us. Those types of things. I'm sure Councillor Benson, as the lead there, will give you a better update and put an update into eScribe next week. And then attended the Magna open house. That was really nice. Learned a little bit about storm ponds and some new ways of that they're thinking about doing with storm ponds. I can tell you that Magna is super excited about this project. They love working with our staff. They brag about this project all over the place, and I don't know, I'm pretty for the polishing ponds. So I'm pretty happy about that too. So hopefully all goes well and we knock it right out of the park, and the government says, hey, we want to do this all over the province. So that's it for me. Deputy Mayor Gustafson.
Oh, pretty quiet. Mayor, just the last night, the strategic planning meeting, first one of I guess there's only two, isn't there? Yeah.
Part one.
Part one of two. And that is it for me.
Councillor Benson.
Okay, so I did as well attend the intermunicipal meeting with Rocky View, and it was interesting from the point of view that Rocky View's big brother is Calgary, and a little bit of the backstory there. I asked a dumb question because they were kind of referring, and they kind of got into some of the backstory with how the kind of one of the legislative committees has been kind of going, and it's kind of they were like always outvoted because Calgary was always had more votes to be able to sway the vote. So it was a kind of an interesting situation with that. And of course, Rocky View, they seem like a great partner. They have got an amazing facility. If anybody gets a chance to go look at it, it's nothing like we'll ever have. It would cover half the town, I think, just about. But yeah, so it's pretty interesting, and the people were very open and supportive of us. I also attended the Rocky View Foundation meeting as well. They had their auditors there, and it was kind of a pretty good discussion. And I was at the finance person for the board, and then I reported to the auditors and the board. And in addition to that, I met with another individual, and I guess the strategic planning session as well.
Great, thank you. Councillor Kosh.
I attended the Crossfield Wellness Network Feast and Focus,
Oh, yeah.
which you forgot about, Mayor.
I know.
It was interesting. I had not been to an event by them before, so it was interesting to learn about what they're doing to help people's wellness in our community and what kind of events they'd like to have. Besides that, just the strategic planning meeting.
Thank you. Councillor Knight.
Just last night's February 2nd strategic plan session 1. I've also been up the Mountain View Regional Water Commission, meeting with our CAO and some of the staff over a few things, just getting ready for the changes and things we're looking to do in the new 2026 season.
Great, thank you. And Councillor Nielsen.
Go ahead.
Did I forget you, Brennan?
That's fine.
Sorry.
You want to?
No, you go ahead and we'll come back. We'll save the best for last.
It's a little. I just attended the Magna Resources Open House. That was really good. It was very interesting. Lots of smart people there.
Yeah,
Very
there are a
excited.
ton of smart people there.
same with everyone else. I was at that strategic planning meeting last night. I thought that was pretty cool. Seems like things are moving forward on that. Marigold Library Board meeting on the 24th. Right, yeah. And then the notes, those are from this, the notes in your package are from the previous meeting. The ones that from this most recent meeting you should see the next meeting. But as it says in here, it's just the important parts about the Schedule C levy rate increases, and they're hoping to get that back by May 30th. Yeah, other than that, nothing to report.
Great, thank you, and thanks for the reminder, Councillor Kosh. Yeah, the Feast and Focus event with the Wellness Committee was really great. There was quite a few people there. They provided a free supper. They did activities to, help with mental health and find out what people liked. And I heard, can we have a swimming pool in Crossfield? I heard that. And when I was at the skating event, I heard, can we have a new arena? So just so you guys are all aware, those are some thoughts floating around in the community. All right. Who'd like to make a motion?
Through the chair.
Councillor Nielsen.
I move that the council business be accepted as presented.
Anybody opposed? Okay, thank you. And then item 9.1, administrative update, outstanding action items list, CEO Barney. And just so the council is aware, whoever's making the motion, use the one in your e-scribe package, not the one that's written down on the paper.
Thank you, Mayor Harris. So just a few adjustments to the outstanding action list. The item 061 being the bike skills park and pump track. That item was added to the list with the intention of moving it forward and getting final approval for council on the design. So we accomplished that this evening. We will continue to move forward with the actual finalizing the design, I guess, and moving forward with construction. But the intent of this motion should be deemed complete as it is here. It'll of course remain an item we report back on from a capital perspective to council. Item 077 being the recycling and producer responsibility program update. Those notifications to businesses have already been completed, so this item can also be marked as complete, and we request removal. And the final one being 078, which is notice of motion, the advancement of development in the downtown and entrance area. As Director Altina had alluded to in his presentation, there are a number of pieces that are ongoing that are intended to advance the intent of that motion. One being the investment readiness project that we're moving forward. Also the land use bylaw update that will be taking place here in 2026 and the subsequent MDP updates. So in light of that, I would request a due date for that one be moved to Q1 of 2027, as that's when all of those pieces will be wrapped up and finalized. And that concludes the adjustments for now, and I'm open to any questions council may have.
Great. Any questions? Getting off easy tonight. Who'd like to make a motion?
Through the chair.
Councillor Knight.
I move that item 061 bike skills pump track and item 077 recycling and producer responsibility EPR program be respectively removed from the outstanding lines item, and then the due date for item 078 notice of motion advancement of developments in the downtown and entrance areas be adjusted to Q1 2027.
Is there anyone opposed? That's motion carried. Okay, item 10.1, Marigold Library Systems Agreement, Schedule C Requisition 2027-2029. Does anybody have any questions or thoughts on that? All the hard questions to Councillor Brennan. Okay, if there's no questions, who'd like to make a motion?
Through the chair.
Councillor Brennan.
I move that the Marigold Library Systems requisitions for 2027 to 2029 be accepted as presented, and that administration be authorized to execute Schedule C of the Marigold Library Board Systems Agreement.
Is there anyone opposed? That's motion carried. And who'd like to adjourn the meeting?
The chair,
Counselor Knight,
I move we adjourn at 7:30 PM.
thank you.